The Stephie Smalls Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Rhythm is giving away a $250 future and throwing a March Madness party. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details. Plus, SGPN is giving away $2,000 in our free March Madness bracket competition. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket and gear up for March with Merch Madness. And now you guys can even buy the brand new Stephie Smalls Show gear before anyone else. Just use promo code MADNESS for 20% off in the SGPN store. Get in now before the promo code is done.
Are you ready?
Happy free agency chaos day. Welcome back to the Stephie Smalls Show. We're going to jump right in with NFL news, movement, all the free agency stuff with Cody, Zeeb. And then, long requested by you guys, we will have MLB talk. It's here. It's finally arrived at the Triple S. Frank Ammirante is going to join me. We're going to do some MLB futures and help me with my fantasy baseball draft this weekend. Let's get right into it. Of SGPN Network, Cody, Zeeb is joining me. How's it going? What's up? Crazy day. How are you?
Crazy day. That is an understatement. I'm doing great. It's so, NFL season is still a long ways off, obviously, but really gets the blood flowing, all the little updates and this guy's going here and that guy's going there. And it's like, oh, yes, give me some NFL. Pump it in.
Kind of like it scratches a little itch. Like it gives you like exactly what you need. But I will say, I was in full out like crash out mode because Twitter just wasn't working this morning. Like there was apparently some cyber attack, whatever that means. I was like, Elon, we got to get our shit together. This is a big day. That was very stressful this morning.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely was like, I kept going on. I'm like, why is this not working? What's going on? Yeah. Luckily you got the sleeper updates, the underdog stuff, but you need Twitter on NFL free agency day.
Yeah, it was starting to piss me off too because I was seeing like getting notifications from like people that have like them on for, and then I couldn't tweet anything, but I'm seeing the tweets. All my DMs are like backdated to like 3 days ago, and I was like, "What is going on?" I'm trying to get involved in all of this. There's been so many moves. Is there one that really stood out to you as like the biggest move so far?
I don't know. There's some definitely one of the bigger ones I think that is probably more questionable than anything is just like the Seattle Seahawks. I think can we just call them one big move in general?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting rid of DK Metcalf, obviously he requested the trade, so I get it. But then you trade Geno, you bring in Darnold on a big $100 million over 3 years. I don't know. I just I have a hard time seeing that being success.
Yeah, I think what I'm struggling with too is seeing like what's the plan here, guys? Like you have Sam. This feels kind of lateral. I know that Sam Darnold, like he did, we saw a little bit more. I will say I did predict at some point he was not getting the amount of money that everyone was trying to say that he would. But I don't know that this is an upgrade from Geno. The only upgrades maybe like an age-wise situation. Darnold gets a downgrade here in an offensive play caller. And I think a lot of Darnold's success, and it's not a knock on him. I just think the Vikings also don't get a lot of credit for like how awesome of an offense they are. Like, and that comes from the play calling, from the weapons. Like you're going from Jay Jettis and Addison to JSN, which I'll get to. I know that they have a lot of draft capital, which I actually wasn't aware of until I like took a look at it today. But then like also, you go from like a solid O-line to a not so solid O-line. So it's an interesting move here. I think also now Darnold's going to have to play outside. Like what exactly was the plan here? Seattle does have the 18th pick. They have 2 seconds, 2/3, and 5 day 3 picks. So they have the capital here, but a very interesting move, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting. We'll see. I guess we'll get true answers on how much he was maybe just propped up by like you said, everything in Minnesota. I think maybe it wouldn't have mattered who they had in that spot. It seems like it was really the quarterback set up for success no matter who it was, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, I mean, there's reasons also to be optimistic about JJ McCarthy too. Even if you were someone that was a little bit lower, you saw Sam Darnold go there and like he looked great. I mean, you saw what Kevin O'Connell can do, and he can definitely like pull talent out. I see there's a little talk about the Bears in the trench building. Very fantastic stuff.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
They might really be the biggest winners so far.
Yeah.
Because they've completely rebuilt the offensive line, which is what they needed, right? They've got a lot of good pieces. You've got the quarterback that should be the guy. That I've been very, very impressed with what the Bears have been able to do.
And this is something, not to bring them up too early, but this is something I wish that the Giants would do, and I think a lot of teams should do. It's like, if you can't draft an O-line, if you suck at developing the talent, then just go buy one. Like, literally just go buy an O-line that has proven pieces.
Yeah, it opens up their draft now, too, because, like,
exactly.
I've been doing the mock drafts and looking through stuff, and you're thinking, just every offensive lineman that's the next offensive lineman on the board, like, give him to the Bears. Just give him to the Bears. Well, now that you've got veterans in there, which already is an upgrade over having rookies that you don't and then that opens up what you can do with those picks and with that capital. Like, that's big time moves for the Bears for sure.
It's impressive. I mean, even like how they're building the defense too, but you're securing the O-line under Ben Johnson for Caleb Williams. Like, this isn't just, we're not just doing this for, you know what I mean? Like, there's a plan in place now. So left tackle, you're sitting at Braxton Jones. You have left guard, you got Tooney there. You just got the center, Drew Dahlman there, and then RG Jonah Jackson, right tackle, Darnell Wright. Like, that is a very attractive O-line.
That's very, very solid.
That is Giants fans. Like, that's wet dreams type stuff for us. Like, we don't know that. Like, I don't even know what that is. I was expecting to see a little bit more movement with them, maybe in like in guard wise. I'm guessing they're waiting for some of these QB pieces to fall. One of the QB pieces that did fall is Justin Fields. I don't think it was ridiculous to assume that he wouldn't end up back at the Steelers. They benched him. If you can find a contract elsewhere, it's probably where I'm going, if we're going to be honest. 2-year, $40 million. It always felt possible that was going to happen. I just don't know how to feel because it is the Jets.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you get excited about this here? It's a first-year OC. Like, how do you get excited about Justin Fields on the Jets?
Yeah, I think it's tough to, like, I'm a big Justin Fields guy from a fantasy perspective. I love him. And really, I think if Pittsburgh could have guaranteed him the starting job, brought him back, you bring DK in there, you got Pickens, the Steelers are just a good team always, no matter what, right? Yeah. You feel good about that situation, but going to the Jets, and there's just a lot of question marks. I mean, you got guys like Wilson, but not excited. Has Jets fans been excited any time in the last, like, 40 years? Like, I don't know. It's got to be tough to be a Jets fan.
And also, like, what else was it going to be other than Justin Fields? Like, I don't know if there was a better situation for them. Like, I think that's really the only option that was out there, because it's unique this year in that, like, Sam Darnold isn't going back to the Jets, right? Like, Russell Wilson's not going back to Seattle. So there's a lot of those pieces where the teams that need quarterbacks also already had the guys that are in the pool.
Oh, they could really use a Sam Darnold or an Aaron Rodgers.
Like, right now,
it didn't work out before.
Great. Like, that probably sounds awesome. Or Seattle, they definitely could have used Russ.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
So they're in a weird
Russ is kind of a big piece that's still out there too.
Right. Russ is, and so is Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Where do you think these two land? Where are we at?
Well, from what I'm seeing, like, the Giants really want Rodgers. I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah.
You would think Pittsburgh seems to make more and more sense for a guy like that because of the stable coaching situation. You've got star wide receivers. He's not going to have to do a ton, but if he still has something left in the tank, which I think is questionable, but he's still one of the greats, right? He did it for a long time, and
yes,
he was with the Jets, so it's hard because it was the Jets, right? So that does seem like the only place he could go and have success, I think. Like, it's hard to see him being successful anywhere else. I think that would make a lot of sense for both sides. And what other quarterbacks are out there now? Russell Wilson, if he returns, but it seems like that bridge is burned because it seems like, I don't know, but maybe he comes back. But other than that, there's not a ton of options out there.
I'm surprised it's taking this long for these two pieces to fall a little bit. Like, I almost felt like that was going to be a little bit sooner of a decision, especially once the Fields domino fell. Like, I can't believe we're still sitting here and Rodgers and Russ are both not on a team. I know last year the Giants had interest in Russ. That wasn't like it didn't end up being a mutual thing. They brought him in for a visit. Does Russ end up going to the New York Giants? I think the problem is too, like, for Rodgers, you have to decide you're on the tail end of your career. So what do you do and what do you want more? It's like, and also, do the teams have that mutual agreement where, like, they want to bring you in because you low-key are kind of a pain in the ass, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, this isn't
That's why the Steelers make so much sense, because Tomlin he can manage anybody. It doesn't matter how crazy they are. Like, look at all the people who have been through there. So, but do you want to bring in like such a known distraction? A lot of times we don't find out till after they've been there. So yeah, I don't know. That's definitely interesting. And I think that's one of the most interesting things is what both of those teams really do at quarterback at this point.
Yeah, and I think the Steelers too, like, we've seen them do this for quite some time where they like win 9 games and then they go to the playoffs and they get knocked out. Like, it's just like, that's kind of what they do now. Like, they're just, they get over the hump, they go to the playoffs and they lose a game. So who's going to put you in position, and does that align? I think it aligns more with kind of where Rodgers is, like, where I don't think he has a lot more time to give. And it feels like you guys are building a team to like win now. But I don't get the Steelers. Like, I don't know that I fully understand the direction. Like, I like the DK move. You guys need.
They're stuck in like purgatory of they're always just good enough to not suck and rebuild. So I'm a Patriots fan, and that's what's sort of was nice about just bottoming out, because we got a chance to hit the reset button and bring everything in and get the early quarterback. Like, Pittsburgh never gets that opportunity because they're always just mid, and that makes it hard to get over the hump. But that's where does an Aaron Rodgers, obviously he at times hasn't, performed in the playoffs and stuff, but is he the type of guy that puts him over? Because who else is out there that can put him over that hump? You're going to bring in a rookie with the capital they have in a weak draft class. Like, that's what makes it really tough.
It's a weird spot. And I want to ask you about the Patriots, but first I want to talk about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cash back rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cash back rewards and instant tier 2 status. EdgeBoost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every single sport, plus props for every game, and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head to MyBookie.ag. Promo code SMALLS for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. We love that. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code SMALLS. Your Patriots were very active. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I like it. They've got endless amounts of cap money, it seems like. So was definitely something you wanted to see from them, addressing the offensive line. I think that's clearly one of the biggest weaknesses. So definitely happy with that. Got some big help on defense, cornerback, defensive tackle. So yeah, I've been pretty pleased thus far. I was really hoping for wide receiver, something to fall into place, but it seems like a lot of wide receivers kind of returned, like T. Higgins, obviously it seems like he's going back to the Bengals. I had some hope for Metcalf, but seemed like maybe he was going to go to a more established place anyways. So I think that's the biggest thing I still want to see addressed, which could potentially be a draft day way to address it.
I would love for you guys to get my boy McMillan from Arizona. In a way that, like, I just love that for Drake May. I also don't want him to land anywhere remotely near one of the teams that we play against very consistently. But I think the Patriots are building in a way that, like, are we gonna let them do it again? Kind of like I don't know. Like I think
I hope so.
People are gonna be lower on them than they probably should be because I think they filled some needs. I can't wait for these win total lines to come out because I promise everyone right now I will be. I don't care what they set the line at. I'm probably gonna take the over, and I don't
absolutely.
They're doing the right thing. They're filling spots, and now they can go into the draft. You have your guy, so then just get him the weapons that he needs. Is there any of the wide receivers like a Cup, Stephon, like do any of these guys interest you that are left? Like, I mean, who else is left? Darius Slayton's out there. You have Westbrook Akine. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? There's not a lot out there anymore. So
I think, but to your point of being extremely happy, I love everything. The coaching move, I think, was perfect. Like, let's not sit on a guy that we don't really know.
Yeah.
Let's get a guy who's had a lot of success. Look what he did with those Titans teams that didn't have a lot of talent, right? And then you got the quarterback. It seems like he's the guy. He looked really good last year. Now you build around him. I love it. I would love to get McMillan in the first round. My last draft over on mock draft on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I had him going there. That's what I'm really hoping as a fan.
Yeah.
Cup, I would love to see. I think Cup would be kind of like a Thielen in Carolina, right? He's not going to be the Cooper Cup that he once was, but he could be a nice piece. He obviously could help coach up younger wide receivers if that's what you're going to bring in, which at this point is what it looks like. I think that would be a good fit and kind of a good place for him to go out for the rest of his, what's left of his career.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then I think one of the pieces that we have to talk about, it's funny because in my notes, it just says fucking Laramie Tunsil. Like I'm so like, the Commanders don't annoy me the way that anyone else in the NFC East annoys me, but I'm annoyed. Like now you guys are pissing me off. Like what was it? Tunsil and a 2025 fourth for a 2026 second, 2025 third, and 2026 fourth. There's been no repeat winner in the NFC East since 2004. Right now, you can get the Commanders plus 230. The Eagles are the favorite right now. I would bet a lot of money that they win the NFC East.
The Commanders have to do that. That's a good number. I like that.
It's a good number.
But yeah, that's again like they obviously made it far, right, to all the way to the NFC Championship game. You've got clearly the guy at quarterback. Go protect him with one of the best tackles out there. That's the best move you could possibly make. Another one that affects the draft because that's what you're looking at, right? Like they got to address tackle. Now you did that through free agency / trade. It's beautiful. Like that's what you should be doing as a team like that. And yeah, I'd imagine as a NFC East fan, you don't want to see it, but for them, that's what you should be doing. And they nailed it.
It's the right way to do it. And it's even like what Chicago's doing. And it's something that, they, whether you can say whatever you want about Daniel Jones, like the Giants chose to never protect him. So you're in the spot that you kind of left him like high and dry there. So I think if you're going to draft a guy, spend the capital on him, you better give him a chance behind the line, whether, it's Daniel Jones, who still apparently is deciding where he's going, which I think is hilarious. It's a little funny.
Does he have options to decide?
He's got, apparently there's tons of options for him. He's making his decision where he wants to go. But I think like there's something too, like if you're going to spend the capital, you better protect that kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing, he's on that rookie contract, so you get that. You can pay these guys to protect him. So yeah, you got to love that. What Kenny Pickett I saw got dealt to the Browns. That's interesting NFL draft wise because is that them passing on a quarterback early?
I don't know.
It feels like, not that Kenny Pickett seems like he would be anybody's answer, but that Browns team, they're a hard team. Like they should be somewhat decent, even though they kind of sucked last year, but they haven't had a quarterback. Well, they've never had a quarterback really ever. Right. But they've been just a quarterback away for so long that I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I haven't been convinced since like everyone started talking NFL draft. Like I am not convinced that the Titans or the Browns are actually in the market to draft a quarterback. I think Adam Schefter could say whatever it's so funny. Adam Schefter said weeks ago, he said there was no way that the Browns weren't drafting a quarterback. And then today he comes out and says, I'm not convinced they're taking it. these guys are so ass backwards and they change what they're going to say.
Because then you can go back and get the screenshot whenever you're right, as long as you pick both sides.
Yeah, exactly. That's 100% what it is. You can go back, delete this one, and then quote tweet the other one, right? Like that's how it works.
Exactly.
It's a very fantasy football community move to do that. But I don't know that I'm fully convinced that the Browns, kind of like even the Giants, too, like you guys have these quarterbacks on the books right now. Like you have Deshaun Watson, which is far worse than the Daniel Jones contract. If we want to be very clear. So, like, what is your plan there? So, are you going to Browns? Oh, do they have Joe Flacco? Did I miss that? Has that been?
Well, they had Joe Flacco. I don't think they do. I don't know if Flacco is a free agent now. I'd have to look him up. I'm not sure, but I do. To the point on the Titans, I don't think the Titans take a quarterback at number 1 overall. You got those 2 guys on the board sitting there, in Carter and the Colorado kid. Why can't I think of his name?
Sanders?
Hunter. Yeah, Hunter.
Oh, I was like,
not Sanders. No. Yeah, the 2 generational talents, like in a rather weak quarterback class. And Levis, I don't know. I think jury's out. But either way, like they could go suck another year and get a better quarterback next year.
They could go get or like a Jameis or Russell. Like I know Russell Wilson's maybe in the mix.
Yeah.
Before I get you out of here, is there what like free agency move do you think impacted like a fantasy football decision for next year? Like, are you taking more Kayla Romo Dunze like that? Are you going that direction? Is it Darnold in Seattle?
Yeah, it's JSN. I was so excited.
I know. I wanted to get him most receiving yards next year.
I've got so many shares of JSN in Dynasty, and like after last year, after the breakout, you're like, yes, this is perfect. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know. We saw Addison and Jefferson be good last year with Darnold.
Right.
So I'm still going to hold out some hope, but I think that definitely affected it. DK in Pittsburgh is interesting because he, like him and Pickens, do they kind of take away from each other? They both sort of do the same thing, right? It's just like big run deep and catch the ball, which maybe Aaron Rodgers does make sense. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some interesting things for sure.
Yeah. Why don't you let everyone know where they can find you? I'll let you get out of here for today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You can follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. I do NFL, arena football, basketball, NASCAR. I'm co-host of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast on the SGPN network, so check us out. We're full swing in NASCAR season. Got to have me back talk some racing sometime.
Yes, please. Everyone's asking for it. So.
I would love it. F1 too, IndyCar. We talk it all. So follow me over on the X machine, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, anytime. Appreciate you. We'll get you back on for F1, all that. Everyone will absolutely love it. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Rhythm is throwing an epic March Madness party, and you are invited. All Rhythm users are invited to a first 4 watch party Wednesday, March 19th at my favorite place in the entire world, Stadium Swim at Circa Las Vegas. Free drinks, plus you get to hang with the guys from SGPN, and it gets better. Rhythm is also giving away a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rhythm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still win with the future bet. Come by and use Rhythm to help you fill out your bracket and make some bets while you are there. Rhythm's March Madness stats and success from 2024 with UConn winning, our percentage of winners was 39% higher than in ESPN brackets as a whole. A free party plus a chance at $250 future bet. $250 future bet. It's a mouthful. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details. An underdog, of course, NBA, NHL, college basketball, MLB, which we're going to talk about here in 1 second with my guy, Frank. Whatever your sport is, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Underdog is offering a Luka Doncic discount for every Lakers game for the rest of the regular season. So sign up with Smalls, help the show out. That's SMALLS to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credit. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code Smalls. And now friend of the show, one of my good friends in the space, a brighter baseball mind than me, because if you know that meme that from what show is that? Where it's like I don't know shit about fuck. That's me when it comes to fantasy baseball. This is Frank Ammirante. How's it going?
What's up? Always a pleasure to be on the show. Good to be back, hyped for baseball season.
Yes. First, congratulations are due about Tunsil and all
That's
the
huge.
news you guys made today. That makes me sick, but happy for you as my friend.
Yeah, exciting time to be a Commanders fan. Getting that franchise left tackle in Laramie Tunsil, I'm ecstatic.
Important. Yeah, it's awesome. So, like I said, I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to fantasy baseball. What are like some misconceptions about fantasy baseball, or like how do you approach it, like difference wise from like just football, fantasy football?
Well, with football, one or two players could just make such an impact on your season and really put your team over the top. The term we like to use, league winner. But that's not really there's not really league winners in fantasy baseball. You have a larger roster. It's a longer season. You basically want to try to build as balanced of a team as possible if you're in a roto league where you can compete in all the hitting and pitching categories.
Yeah.
Or, if you're in head-to-head, you can just ignore a category altogether, like, say, batting average, and just load up on power hitters. There's just a little bit more strategy depending on the format. Whereas in football, we usually use the similar format, half PPR, full PPR. So there's a little bit more complexities to fantasy baseball in that sense.
And I have a draft, so I am doing fantasy baseball. I'm fully committing. I tried to do it 2 years ago, and I was like, "This is just not this year, guys. This is not the year for me." It's definitely a full-time job. There's definitely more involved in it than like setting your lineup for just football. I'm doing an auction draft, but who are must draft players for this year? Like if you had like two or three names that like I have to go in on Saturday and make sure are on my team.
So I got 5 names here for you. Let's start off with Luis Robert of the White Sox. He's coming off an abysmal season, but let's face it, he was on a dumpster fire of a White Sox team. He's only 1 year removed, Robert is, from 37 homers and 20 steals. Now, his name has been constantly in the trade rumors. The White Sox are rebuilding. By the time they're good, Robert will be probably in his 30s. So it makes sense for the White Sox to cash in on Robert now. And we heard, that the Reds tried to trade for Robert, and that'd be a great landing spot in that hitter's park. Point is, it's very likely at some point this season, Robert will be traded, and a change of scenery should do wonders for a hitter who just has a lot of power and speed upside.
That's awesome. All right, why don't you fire off 2 more of those names?
All right, let's go with former Yankee Clay Holmes making the shift to the starting rotation. You look at the projections. That's a good thing to look at in baseball. Go to a player's player page on Fangraphs. You got a list of some of the best projection systems there, and they've been high on Clay Holmes. They really like his arsenal in terms of how it translates to the rotation, and we're seeing that in spring training. He's showcasing a new changeup, and it's produced some really impressive results. And you look at recent conversions from the bullpen to the starting rotation. Michael King, he did well in San Diego. Reynaldo Lopez, he did very well with the Braves. So I think given that recent success of relievers turn starters and Clay Holmes' arsenal, coupled with the fact that he goes late in drafts, it's a good target for you. And we'll wrap it up with Gavin Williams from the Guardians.
Okay, this is one I was looking at. So I'm on the right track. Okay, tell everyone why.
Yeah, so he's a former top prospect, Gavin Williams. Last year, his season was derailed by a preseason injury, but it wasn't real. He's fully healthy now, Gavin Williams is, and he's dominating in spring. He's got a couple of pitches with 30+% whiff rate, so he's got like a well-rounded arsenal. One thing I saw, according to Eno Saris of The Athletic, Gavin Williams ranked second in extension last season, which means that the velocity plays up because it feels faster than it is, just the way Gavin Williams releases the ball. And we've seen the Guardians have a great track record developing pitchers. I feel like Gavin Williams is just poised for a breakout season. He just needs to stay healthy. Great target, good price in drafts too, or in auction as you're in.
Yeah. I've been bookmarking a bunch of your tweets. So if you guys haven't checked out, like go follow Frank on X, Twitter, whatever, stripper name X, whatever it is. But I've been bookmarking a bunch of your tweets, taking my notes that I'm ready. So talking about some futures, look at me. I did notice I am a Yankees fan. Kind of stopped watching for a little bit. Garrett Cole news. How does this
Brutal.
impact? So the win total is at 90.5. It's -110 to the under. Like, what are your thoughts on that? How does this impact that number? Is there a direction to go? Do you wait? Like, how do you play this with the Garrett Cole news?
I feel like if you like the under, you should take under on the Yankees now, because probably
Okay.
the conventional thought here would be that, without their ace Garrett Cole, like, people are going to gravitate towards the under, and it might move down to 88, 87,
Yeah.
86. I do think the Yankees will still playoff contenders. They brought in Max Fried, dependable lefty. Carlos Rodon had some flashes last year. I really like Clark Schmidt, and they replaced Juan Soto as best as possible. Really, Cody Bellinger is a good fit in that park. Paul Goldschmidt's a good bounce back candidate. They got young talent, Anthony Volpe, Jason Dominguez. But yeah, to your point, I would take the under now if you did want to go that way. Personally, I'll stay away, but if you were inclined to the under, do it now.
Do it now. Okay. What other, do you have two of your favorite MLB futures that people should lock in right now before they move? Or
yeah, let's go. Let's start it off with the Red Sox to win the World Series. I saw it on DraftKings plus 2,000, 20 to 1. They had a terrific offseason. They brought in a legit AL Cy Young front runner in Garrett Crochet. I think Walker Buehler, coming over from the Dodgers, could bounce back now that he's further removed from his injury. We started to see signs of that in the Dodgers playoff run.
Yeah.
They brought in Aroldis Chapman, who's still a really good reliever at the back end of the bullpen. Liam Hendricks is looking healthier. That's another potential closer. You look at the lineup, Alex Bregman's a perfect fit in Fenway Park with the Green Monster. And the Red Sox have the best farm system in MLB. They got two of the best prospects coming up in Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell that could really, add another level to their offense. And having a stacked prospect pool means at the trade deadline, the Red Sox have the ammo you need to really beef up that team. Yeah. So at 20 to 1, I think they're really undervalued, and it's a nice value pick right now. That's one of them for sure. My future.
Okay. As a Yankees fan, my grandmother would roll over in her grave if I bet on the Red Sox, but at least the viewers can take advantage of that. What's one more futures bet that you are a huge fan of?
So if you're into season win totals, one that I like, if you look at The Bat, which is one of the most accurate projections from Derek Carty last year, so he puts out season win totals, and what I do is I put a spreadsheet that I tweeted out where I compared his projected win totals, Derek Carty's, with the betting markets, and the one that was by far the biggest value was the White Sox over 53.5 wins. Now I know you're listening to that, you're grossed out. The White Sox are just abysmal.
The shit Sox.
But if they go 54-1 with this prop, if they win 54 games, it's like they still lost over 100 games. They'll still be really bad.
Yeah.
It's really just too low of a bar because sorry, I have been fighting a cold.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so it's too low of a bar. Bettors tend to gravitate toward the under on really bad teams, but this feels like it's just a little underpriced. They have some talented young arms like Sean Burke, and I really trust in those projections from Derek Carty. I'm going to roll with his best value on that one.
That's awesome. All right, one dark horse for MVP, and then I will let you get out of here.
All right, dark horse for AL MVP. Let's go with Julio Rodriguez at plus 2,000 of the Mariners. He had a down year last year, but this is a young hitter who could go 30-30. You look at the Mariners offense, not really like they improved their offense much at all. They just brought back Jorge Polanco, full year of Randy Arozarena. So Julio Rodriguez is going to have to carry this offense. So if the Mariners end up, surprising and winning the division thanks to their strong rotation, and Julio has a big season, I could totally see him in play to win AL MVP.
I love it, Frank. You're fantastic. I'm probably have to send you a couple DMs about my draft that's on Saturday. Let people know what you're working on, where they can find you before I let you get out of here.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Ammirante TFJ. My work is on a few sites now, Rotoballer, Fantasy Pros, Fantasy Six Pack, Pro Football Network. I'll be doing a bunch of baseball and football content there. Also, we'll start posting baseball picks soon. Hopefully those work out better this year. But, great time of year with football free agency and baseball on the horizon.
Yeah, 100%. We'll have to get you back on for some fantasy football content as well, a little bit more baseball. But I will see you guys on Wednesday. It is the Players Week, so we'll be doing some golf, some March Madness. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review. Always helps the show. And we will see you guys on Wednesday.
All right. Take care.
Watch him make it, break it, break it, break it.